the guy.
Yeah.
He had a green card, right?
Yeah, so Mahmoud Khalil is a Columbia University student who is a
I
who
love
has
freedom.
who
I
has
love
a green card.
It's
Yeah.
cool. It's cool that protesting these that we're talking about. It's so pathetic. Everyone was talking about, and I get so pissed at comedians who were pretending that like
Yeah.
Trump was going to be the free speech candidate. You morons.
But switching gears away from the tour real quick, we're going to talk about Mahmoud Khalil.
Okay.
I don't know if you know who this person is, but
I think I saw what happened.
yeah,
Where they
you're,
just
you're fucking
completely
woke.
they completely just fucking disappeared a guy.
Yeah.
He had a green card, right?
Yeah, so Mahmoud Khalil is a Columbia University student who is a
I
who
love
has
freedom.
who
I
has
love
a green card.
It's
Yeah.
cool. It's cool that protesting these cocksuckers that we're talking about. It's so pathetic. Everyone was talking about, and I get so pissed at fucking comedians who were pretending that like
Yeah.
Trump was going to be the free speech candidate. You fucking morons! And now they're just fucking black bagging essentially a guy who was protesting. It's fucking pathetic.
Yeah. And it's like what's been crazy about it so far is that they broke in. Initially, they thought that he was on a student
right?
visa,
Yeah, yeah.
and then they were like, "Oh, he has a green card actually." And fuck it, black bag him regardless. They didn't tell his lawyer or his wife, who's an American citizen, who's 8 months pregnant.
Oh my god.
Whether or not, like where he was, where his whereabouts were. They immediately took him out of the state into New Jersey and then quickly sent him to Louisiana because they
Holy
judge shop.
fuck.
And there's like a judge there that they consider is more,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
racist.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, oh, Louisiana judges will allow us to deport him.
Yeah.
Apparently, they also threatened to arrest his wife, and that sort of thing. There was another student protester, a student activist who's with the UAW, that they also tried to nab as well in the process. But they basically kidnapped this guy, okay? And what's been interesting about this is they're not even like trying to make up a good reason for why they did it. And they're just simply saying like, nah, he was protesting Israel. That's not allowed.
Which is fucking nuts, dude.
Which is fucking insane. Exactly.
This is the point where it's like, we can't even pretend anymore. This is fucking straight up. We're not on the route to fascism. This is it. And if they're not even pretending, it's almost worse to not try and have, like, at least George Bush would pretend there was some legal reason to torture people.
Yeah.
At least Dick Cheney would get on the phone and be like, tell them it's for this reason. Now they're just like, no, we can fucking do it.
Yeah.
We're so fucked, dude.
Completely psychotic. And their defense of it has been like abysmal overall, where there's reporting that's coming out that, first of all, they're talking to the Free Press. White House official told the Free Press, which is Barry Weiss's institution.
That's great.
Yeah.
That dumb bitch called it the Free Press.
Yeah. Yeah.
The not lying newspaper.
Yeah, which, you know, so free, where they actively work to you know, if you're anyone of Arab descent, their entire goal is to make sure that you never get a job ever
God
again.
damn, dude.
So White House official told the Free Press that the basis for targeting Khalil is being used as a blueprint for investigations against other students.
Other students for protesting in fucking
Yeah.
America. You pieces
not
of
even
shit.
protesting in America, not even against America, by the way, against a fucking foreign country,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is psychotic. Anyway, Khalil is a threat to the foreign policy and national security interests of the United States, said the official, noting that this calculation was the driving force behind the arrest. The allegation here is not that he was breaking the law.
This
so
is
they
fucking
openly
insane.
are just saying, like, they're openly admitting he's not even breaking the law. We just don't like that he is critical of Israel.
That's fucking nuts, dude.
yeah.
I mean, this is fucking crazy.
Yeah, and the state so far the State Department has not publicly disclosed the specific evidence on which it based its decision to order the arrest of Khalil, who is a green card holder. The INA provision explicitly says people shall not be excludable or subject to restrictions or conditions on entry into the United States because of their past, current, or expected beliefs, statements, or associations. If such belief statements or associations will be lawful within the United States, but it allows for an exception. If the Secretary of State personally determines that the alien's admission will compromise...
Personally?
Yeah.
Who made this cock? Who is it? Is it Rubio?
Well, I mean, I guess they're just like giving a lot of extra power to the head of the State Department. If they are like, yeah, this one guy, I don't like his fucking vibes.
That's nuts.
Yeah. And the Board of Immigration Appeals has said that under the provision the State Department is using to detain Khalil, a letter from the Secretary of State conveying the Secretary's determination that an alien's presence in this country would have potentially serious adverse foreign policy consequences for the United States. Just off vibes? Yeah. Just off fucking vibes in general.
This is fucking nuts, dude.
Yeah. And it's I mean it's pretty. Republican calls Sarah McBride miss. Okay, we're not going to talk about that right now. Okay, Jesus Christ. Yeah, they're also being transphobic, but just wait. Let me focus on this real quick. But yeah, it is. I think it's a wild admission. This is from Zeteo News. That they're just actively saying like he didn't do anything. He didn't like violate any crimes whatsoever. 13 representatives have signed they've come out and made a statement officially saying
13. That's it.
Yeah, I don't know why.
That's
14,
fucking nuts.
But they closed it apparently before they could release it. I don't know why it's not like an open petition.
This is fucking pathetic. If the Democrats can't even do this,
because like AOC and stuff were not on this. The 14 Congress members who signed the letter, but like there are. Representative AOC's chief of staff confirms that the letter was still open. She would sign it. But basically, yeah, 14 of the 535 voting members of Congress, including Palestinian American Representative Rashida Tlaib, have signed a letter calling on the Trump administration to immediately release Mahmoud Khalil. They warned the administration's illegal actions set a dangerous precedent and shred constitutional rights to free speech and due process.
Yeah, hell yeah.
This is like what I find very interesting about this is that like obviously one of the things that like AIPAC and the Israel lobby does very well is basically, you know, move in the direction of like violating Constitution, like the First Amendment, for example. But they don't do it like this outwardly.
Yeah.
Even though like they've quietly been able to lobby Congress and state representatives to basically to make it illegal to protest against Israel in like 36 states at this point, which is crazy. Whenever I talk to any American, doesn't matter what their opinions are, motherfuckers who think like all Arabs are strapped with a TNT to their vest. Yeah. When I say that, they go, "What the fuck do you mean it's illegal to protest the state of Israel in 30 plus states?" So it's one of those things that like AIPAC gets away with because they do it quietly. This right here directly is happening in broad daylight. Like this very obvious shredding of the First Amendment and numerous other laws really is happening in broad daylight. And I think that this is going to make people go insane.
Hopefully that's the scary thing. If this doesn't, what the fuck will?
Yeah. Like, and it's interesting because like the White House is like typing out shalom while they're talking about like this is dude, if you're a Nazi, this is your heyday.
Yeah.
Okay. You literally are just like, see? Everything we've been saying.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got the White House writing shalom when they're talking about fucking deporting an American legal permanent resident. Like it's psychotic. You know what I mean?
Insane, yeah.
It's like,
well, Trump's got to build the fucking Riviera, dude.
Yeah, I think it was Noah who said something like, hold on, let me see if I can find it. Noah tweeted about this where he was like, this is like a David Duke fantasy that the White House is just like actively contributing to. Whereas like, hold on.
It's fucking insane, man.
Yeah. What is this?
This fucking guy. It's like, first of all, protesting and freedom of speech. It's like, you should be, that's the whole point of this fucking country. Is you can say whatever the fuck you want and the king can't fuck your ass.
You can literally.
That's the whole point.
That's the other side of this. Like, you could literally be like, Hamas is fucking awesome. And
you should be able to do that. That's the whole point of a free society.
Yeah. What are we doing here? Where
and it's like, say Nazi shit. I agree with it. But like, the whole point is you should be able to say horrific fucking shit. Not that we're saying this is horrific, but it's like,
you can say
protest.
Horrific,
that's the whole fucking point.
Yeah. You can say horrific shit. And then other people can also say horrific shit back to you. But like the federal government is not supposed to literally arrest you. That is the whole point.
The entire idea.
It's not a violation of the First Amendment when like private enterprise decides like, oh, you can't fucking, say this or whatever. It's shitty. And it certainly covers back speech in the avenues where you can use your speech. Right. But you can't fucking and go, hey, we're throwing you in jail for saying this. and it's a thing that I don't like you saying, then, you know, that's still technically in defense of the First Amendment. We've completely dropped that. Yeah, tamping down on anti-Semitism by cutting NIH funding, National Institute of Health funding, and explicitly saying it's because of Israel is something David Duke came up with.
For real. Yes. Yeah. And now when everything gets worse, they have that they're setting up a couple boogeymen right now.
Yeah. And and this is happening at a time when, like, obviously people are not too fond of Israel to begin with. Like, even Republicans are not super hot on Israel. And they're like the one group that remains that is like unconditionally dick riding Israel into oblivion, like the evangelicals, right?
Right. Because they think God can only come back when Jews control that part. Like, it's so nuts how much of our foreign policy.
It's like fucking anime.
It's
like,
fucking stupid, dude. Yeah. But yes, I do agree.
But them like slapping fucking shalom every time they do some shit like this.
Why are they doing that? That's nuts.
Like, I don't understand it. I genuinely don't. I think he's just like, they're just flexing, I guess. They don't give a fuck if, like, people see this and go, oh my God, this is like incredibly, this is it. Jews are actually control the White House. Like,
is that literally the fucking plan? I don't understand this shit.
Yeah.
This is fucking nuts, dude. This shit has gone quick. These motherfuckers are not wasting any fucking time.
Yeah. But
and what
one of the other sides of this is that, like, the Democrats, looking at the situation, that will absolutely not just stay to, like, you know, people of Arab descent, but will extend to,
of course,
anti-Zionist Jews as well, and then all minority groups eventually, when they feel like different groups are fucking being annoying to the Trump administration, are doing a horrible job fighting against this. Look at this shit. This is what Chuck Schumer's response was, which is psychotic. Like, this is the most psychotic response of all time.
The fact that it's 3 paragraphs.
Well,
the fact that it's not, this is insane, or just something is crazy.
Yeah, no, he Felix had some choice words for it, which I'll get to in a second. Okay. But he goes, I abhor many of the opinions and policies of Mahmoud Khalil.
That's where we start, you fucking piece of shit. You start with talking about him being a fucking asshole? Yeah. Are you fucking out of your mind?
This guy's a real terrorist.
Oh my fucking
Trump
God.
Is right. He has hurt the feelings of Israel. And
therefore, my fucking God, we're so fucked. It's insane.
Yeah,
dude.
And have made my criticisms of the anti-Semitic actions at Columbia loudly known.
Anti-Semitism in the first fucking sentence? When a guy gets fucking disappeared in America?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Mr. Khalil is also a legal permanent resident here, and his wife, who's 8 months pregnant, is an American citizen. While he may well be in violation of various campus rules regarding how the protests were conducted last year, that is a matter for the university to pursue.
Oh my God. Like, this motherfucker went beyond states' rights and went university rights.
Yeah.
This is a matter for the universities.
It's also fucking psychotic because, like, none of what he's saying is correct.
Yeah.
Like, the entire purpose for why the student activists chose Mahmoud Khalil to represent them is because he is, like, the most balanced. Like, he doesn't like pop off or say anything that could be misconstrued. Like, a lot of student activists have been very good at messaging discipline in an effort to not give any sort of not to give any sort of fucking leeway to, like, people claiming that they're being anti-Semitic. And what's incredibly frustrating is, and I know this fucking personally, obviously, from all of the people that claim that I'm also a vicious, rabid anti-Semitic Islamist fundamentalist, Hamas, Hezbollah supporter, or whatever the fuck, is that you don't have to really say anything. All you have to say is that you're against Israel, that you are anti-Israel, that you're an anti-Zionist, and that's all it takes for these guys. But at this stage, they're not even trying to fucking clip chimp my man. They're just basically saying no, he's a vicious anti-Semite, but also he shouldn't be deported.
But, like, the fact that this is the opposition,
the
opposition, like, this motherfucker should be saying how this is illegal and that Trump should get arrested if they do this. That's like, they should be talking about how they're tearing up the Constitution, not starting with talking about how bad student protesting is for Israel. It's so fucking pathetic.
There's, like, validity.
Even if you believe that, right? Even if you fucking believe that, it's like, your job is to fucking provide some kind of opposition to these people, and no matter what you do, you're not allowed to fucking just kidnap a permanent resident. You're not allowed to do it to anyone theoretically, but definitely not a guy who's here on fucking, legally.
On a green card. And he's then he goes on to talk about pathetic, I've encouraged them to be much more robust in how they combat anti-Semitism, maintain harassment-free campus that protects the safety and security of Jewish and other students. The Trump administration's DHS must articulate any criminal charges or facts that would justify his detention.
My God!
Give us a reason, please.
Please, Daddy. Please don't let me be. Please.
Give us a reason as to why you blackbagged this dude beyond the fact that you don't like his vibes.
Which I agree.
God. I don't like his vibes either.
He's a weird guy. He's giving me the ick.
Yeah, I don't like his vibes either, but please tell me why it's appropriate.
This is so fucking
Please tell
pathetic,
me why it's appropriate to fucking blackbag this guy.
We want to suck your cock. Can you just fluff it for us, Mr. Trump? I'd love to choke on your nuts.
Unacceptable levels of capitulation. It's just completely psychotic.
God, I fucking hate him.
If the administration cannot prove he has violated any criminal law, justified taking the severe action, is doing it for the opinions he's expressed, then that is wrong. It took 3 paragraphs. It took 3 paragraphs to get to it's just wrong to detain him. This is literally worse than if Chuck Schumer just stood quietly.
For sure.
They are violating the First Amendment protections we all enjoy and should drop this wrong-headed action.
I mean, if this isn't proof that the Democratic Party's done, I don't know what the fuck is. They're just completely done.
Yeah, to which Felix responded, I've seen a lot of very qualified defenses of Mahmoud Khalil from libertarians who are opposing this solely on legal grounds. Ann Coulter had a fucking better statement about Mahmoud Khalil than Chuck Schumer.
Pathetic.
Okay? How fucking psychotic. Ann Coulter was
pathetic.
Ann Coulter literally came out and was like, I've never seen a motherfucker I don't want deported.
Yeah.
I love
deporting.
I flick my bean to deportations.
I love when fucking other ethnicities leave America.
Yeah. She literally was like, but it seems like this is just because he's against Israel. That's what she said. It's crazy. None of them took this much time to express how much of a supposed anti-Semitic rule breaker they find him as Chuck Schumer does here. Fucking astounding. The other side of the story, of course, is that a member of Chuck Schumer's caucus, obviously, the recipient of a heart attack, brain concussion gun that turned him conservative and pro-Israel, John Fetterman, worked with a sex offender to effectively enact the most restrictive and draconian speech laws in the entire Western world. One of the people involved in the kidnapping of Khalil was Ross Glick. Have you seen this fucking guy?
No.
Brace has been around him in the past. He's like some rabid freak from an organization called Beitar that openly and actively say they're Kahanas, which is used to be considered a terror group by fucking Israel.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's how fucking freak these dudes are, that even the Israeli state was like, we love killing Palestinians, but you guys are a little too invested. Yeah. And this fucking neo-Nazi terrorist, okay, that does that actively and openly does this doxing operation that is now saying that they're working with the Department of Homeland Security to create lists of people that are on student visas that are criticizing Israel. That's what they're doing. You got these rabid ultra-Zionist freaks creating lists of people with names to go and tell the fucking fascist government who to deport. How do you not see the irony in this as an organization that calls themselves a Jewish organization? How do you not put 2 and 2 together?
Governments of the state knocking on doors and saying, any Palestinians here?
Yeah.
Any Palestinians on visas here? And the fact that they're even those guys are well, at least they have to have visas.
Yeah.
That's what's crazy. This guy is on a fucking green card.
Yeah, and he appears to have a close working relationship with Senator John Fetterman. Ross Glick, a pro-Israel activist who previously shared a list of campus protests with federal immigration authorities, said that he was in Washington, D.C. for meetings with members of the Congress during the Barnard Library demonstration and discussed Khalil with aides to Senator Ted Cruz and John Fetterman, who promised to escalate the issue. He said that some members of Columbia's board also had reported Khalil to officials. This unfolded very quickly because it was obvious, Glick said in an interview Monday. Everybody was upset. He recalled of his meetings in the Hill. The guy was making it too easy for us. Yeah.
So fucking ridiculous, man.
His website prominently features a fake legal notice informing visitors that he is not a convicted sex criminal. Yeah. Public notice and legal warning. Upon information and belief, false and defamatory statements against Ross Glick have been posted online in various sources such as New York Post and Palestinian News Network.
The New York Post.
Yeah, the New York Post.
The
is
New
against
York
this guy.
Post says this guy's a fucking pervert.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
Well, it takes one to know one. You know what I mean? Like they were just jealous of his revenge porn operation.
Was that what he was doing?
Yeah.
What a piece of shit, man.
Yeah, this is the New York Post article. The disturbing story behind New York City's revenge porn perpetrators.
Jesus
That's
Christ.
Ross Glick.
I mean, he looks like such a piece of shit.
Yeah. Cool stuff overall. The Beitar USA account is insane. No, I know. They are just like, our wars with Gaza, not Hamas, the people of Gaza. It's crazy.
Just saying it, man.
Oh, yeah. No, they just, and the Department of Homeland Security is working with them. Like, at the behest of a foreign nation. Like, what are we doing, bro? What are we doing?
This is so fucking pathetic. This is so fucking, like, aren't they smashing the turbo button a little too fast? Doesn't it feel like they're going to run out of NOS pretty soon?
What I don't understand is how these dummies have deluded themselves into thinking that these guys who keep saying America was founded on Judeo-Christian values are not going to turn around and be like, just kidding. It's just founded on Christian values, dumbass. Like, what do you think happens to you in that situation? You know what I mean?
Something cool.
They're going to be like, ooh, let's seize the assets of all these wealthy Jews. You know what I mean? Like, that's what's coming. That's the next step here. And it's so weird that these dudes are like, nah, we'll be fine. Like,
yeah, I mean,
it just doesn't make any fucking sense.
Well, I just think, are they even thinking finally steal Gaza? You know what I mean? Like, to kill everyone. Like, are they even thinking about that?
Yeah.
Or do they just think, like, eye on the prize, let's, you know, especially these Beitar fucking freaks, are they like, let's finish this genocide? We'll
they're a 501c3 registered nonprofit that takes tax-deductible donations, by the way.
Blood in God. We demand, I mean, these are fucking pieces of shit.
This is in response to, these are the names of the Palestinian babies Israel killed before they reached their first birthday. Unfortunately, it's likely an undercount. And they're like, no, we want more of it. We want more baby blood.
Jesus fucking Christ. Dude.
I can't think of a worse way to just look at like thousands of years of anti-Semitic propaganda.
Yeah. Like
Beitar coming out and being like, no, we love drinking the blood of children.
It's so fucked
is
up.
like an insane fucking way to operate. Like, it just doesn't make any sense when you're just saying like, nah, all the blood libel actually that has fucking historically caused pogroms we are going to take ownership over it and say it's real. We're doing it.
We're gonna treat it like the N-word and reclaim it. We're gonna treat it like it's gonna be cool to do it now.
It is straight up. It is straight the fuck up. Like just the purest fantasies of a David Duke style person to behave like this, and the administration is leaning into it, which is also wild.
Yeah, it's not even like you know, sort of like implied support. It's just so hysterically like, oh yeah, we're gonna supercharge this. I mean, the AI shit was the AI fucking video.
The AI Gaza video? Yeah. What is this? Free all the hostages have been tortured, starved, raped, beaten, and still in tunnels in Gaza by Hamas since October 7th, 2023. That's what he quote retweeted the Senate Judiciary Democrats with.
Insane.
2 minutes ago.
What the fuck are we talking about, man?
I hate this fucking
You're a
piece
fucking
of shit.
U.S. senator.
No, he's just Felix calls him the golem.
What did happen to this guy? What happened to him?
He got hit with he had a fucking aneurysm, dude. That's what it is. And it like unironically made him pro-Israel and incredibly fucking conservative.
It's crazy that a fucking
brain damage.
The one time a Turk should have won, I guess. I didn't even know anybody's politics. Of course, I was against Dr. Oz for Turkish reasons, and I had no idea what Fetterman stood for. But I guess
probably would have been better.
Even Dr. Oz would have been better.
Here's House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries' statement on Mahmoud Khalil. Once again, doing the same thing that Chuck Schumer did. Mahmoud Khalil is a legal permanent resident whose wife, an American citizen, is 8 months pregnant. Okay, starts off strong.
Yeah. But still,
to the extent his actions were inconsistent with Columbia University policy and created an unacceptable hostile academic environment for Jewish students and others, there is a serious university disciplinary process that can handle the matter.
Who gives a fuck? Like, who gives a fuck, you fucking idiots?
It's just like, dude, first of all, you have no evidence for this. Like, you're just fucking making shit up, okay? Students protesting at fucking Columbia campus, especially a campus that historically has had to right the wrongs of the way they treated their student protesters who were on the right side of history during the fucking Vietnam War. It is psychotic to turn around and be like, yeah, this time it's actually a severe violation. They should be not deported, but like they should be kicked out of the university. It's like fucking bullshit.
He should be kicked out and maybe go to jail, but this is too much.
Yeah, but in America, in the context of the arrest and detention of Mahmoud Khalil, the DHS must produce facts and evidence of criminal activity.
That's what they're begging for. They're literally like, please.
They're like, please.
Give us an out to support you.
Yeah, please give us a reason for why.
Even if you believe this and you were good at politics, you would understand the opportunity you have to make these people look like fascists, which is what they're doing. Even if you were just a cynical politician that was like, that does love Israel, you could be like, well, but we could nail fucking Trump here if we talked about how un-American he is, and we can get libertarians on our, like, but they're not even fucking shrewd enough to do that, or they're too scared. I don't even fucking know.
You know, both parties are unimaginably invested in dick riding Israel into oblivion, and here are the fucking results. You got smarter Republicans who are using the Israel conflation with anti-Semitism as an opportunity to do insane harm, as an opportunity to just completely erode what remains of the fucking First Amendment in this goddamn country. And the Democrats are championing it, or at most, they're basically being like, just do it by process, please, sir.
It's fucking pathetic, dude.
Yeah.
It's just so fucking crazy. Just with no other details, someone who's a legal permanent resident getting disappeared with no fucking information. That's it. We don't need to know anything fucking else. That's insane, and that should fucking scare everybody, dude.
Yeah, it's completely ridiculous,
Such
dude.
Fucking pussies, man.
Yeah.
We're so fucked. Goddamn. At least I get to go on my fucking tour bus and watch the Family Guy Freaking Sweet collection on DVD.
Yeah.
That'll help me out. That'll help me chill on my way to Fresno.
Are you out?
I'll give you 10 more minutes, man.
I pissed you off into...
you actually got me to care, and I'm pissed off now.
Yeah, I'm sorry, dude.
I was in a nice, not really paying attention to the news mode. I had forgotten how bad the world was. I was having fun doing stand-up comedy, and now I'm like, damn. By the time this tour is over, fucking, they might fucking deport Eldest for being a white Albanian Muslim.
Yeah. You think they're not coming after the Greeks? Just wait,
we're
bro.
Too smart. We're
Just
too
fucking wait.
We're
dude.
too fucking smart.
You think your Christianity will be a shield for you? Just wait until
I'm a baptized Greek Orthodox Christian. I've renounced Satan.
Just wait until they fucking
dude.
come after
we're
the Christians.
Too sharp.
Yeah.
We're too fucking sharp.
They're gonna say the Greek Orthodox Church is actually fake.
How dare you, man?
Yeah.
How dare you? All right, I gotta piss and get the fuck out of here.
All right.
Thanks, buddy. Good to see you. I'll be back next week, probably.
Everybody. What are you plugging? You got a show. You got some shows still?
Yeah, I have a ton of shows. The tour has just started. This is our second full week. I'm going all over the place. We have Vegas this weekend. We have Fresno, Bakersfield, Phoenix, and then next weekend, I don't fucking know where I'm going. Denver. We have a couple tickets for Denver left. And then, Oklahoma City, Nashville. Go to my website, Stavi.biz. Chicago, Toronto, Montreal, a ton of them. Thank you, guys. You know what? I won't say anything that might get the stream in trouble, but, I'm feeling a little feisty after this news, but
yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks, buddy.
All right. Stavros Halkias, everybody. Let's Start a Cult is now also on Hulu. That's right. All right. You need help with the... Hold on. I'll help you with the fucking door. All right. Getting back to the Colombia protests and the immigration arrest that took place, the ridiculous arrest that took place. Right now,
immigration arrest of a former student activist at one of the country's elite universities is causing an uproar. A judge has ordered that Mahmoud Khalid should stay in the U.S. until a court hearing tomorrow. Khalil is a Palestinian from Syria with a green card, allowing him to live in the United States. He's accused.
What? It's all muted? You're still muted? Dog, I think you're muted. My man, My man accidentally, wait, I'm silly. My Twitch was muted. That's so funny. Oh, that's hilarious, dude.
Of anti-Semitic activity in last year's student-led protest that paralyzed the Columbia University campus.
I gotta pee.
Lilia Luciano has more.
Where is Mahmoud Khalil now?
Protests erupted in New York City Monday after last weekend's arrest of Columbia University activist Mahmoud Khalil.
Our movement is very, very large.
Khalil, who was a graduate student at the School of International and Public Affairs, was a prominent voice among the pro-Palestinian protests on campus last year. He had been briefly suspended for his role in the demonstrations before the school reversed its decision. Trump administration officials have said Khalil was arrested in support of the president's executive order tying his participation in the protest, which demanded that the university divest from Israel and called for the end of the war in Gaza with alleged anti-Semitism and support for Hamas.
Any resident alien who commits a crime is eligible for deportation.
But Khalil's attorneys say their client was wrongfully detained, saying federal agents incorrectly thought he was in the U.S. on a student visa, then arrested him anyway after learning he was a lawful permanent resident and were preparing to deport him until a judge temporarily blocked the order. Ramzi Qasim is a member of Khalil's legal team.
The Department of State and the Secretary of State do not have the power to revoke green cards. Only an immigration court can do that. Mr. Khalil has committed no crime.
Fellow protesters who know him deny Khalil did anything wrong. How did you meet him?
Being in the encampment, I met him several times, and he's just a very sweet guy, soft-spoken. I see him equally supporting Palestinian students, Arab students, Jewish students.
And student protesters told us Khalil's arrest has already had a chilling effect on free speech.
We've been really over-monitoring ourselves and our speech right now. Trying our best to just make sure it's not hurting any of our peers who are immigrants in any capacity.
According to ICE's detainee locating system, Khalil is being held at a detention facility in Louisiana. His lawyers, who say it's very unusual for him to be moved to another state, have filed a motion for him to be returned to New York.
Yeah, for the record, they did move him to another state exclusively because they were judge shopping and they knew that the Louisiana judge would be easier on the erroneous claims being made. That's why they sent him down to Louisiana, for the record. The entire purpose of this process is to create a chilling effect on speech. That's it. That's it. They want to stop you from protesting against Israel. They can't, but they will try to do everything in their power and erode the constitutional protections in the process to try to stop people from saying Israel is bad or Israel's in the wrong. We see smaller versions of this in the deplatforming efforts against all pro-Palestinian content creators from people who shamelessly defend Israel. I'll obviously be covering that in a second. Noah Samson, the YouTubers who backed the genocide, is his latest video, which I think covers all this stuff in a very decent way. But the denaturalization is like the last step of this process, where I feel like the first step of the process is, one, lying, consistently smearing anti-Zionist activists and claiming falsely that they are anti-Semitic. Okay, and then the second part of the process is to then go after some of the easier targets, like people that have less legal protections overall, something that can tie along with the agenda of the administration that's coming in. For example, immigration. So then you go after student activists that are on a student visa. Asman was going hard and demanding everyone to support this deportation and keep saying it's because he supports a terrorist org. Yeah, Asmongold is a fucking idiot who doesn't understand the genuine consequences of this. This is a direct violation of the First Amendment, okay? That's number one. Number two, Asmongold thinks a real violation of the First Amendment and free speech rules is when video game titties are 3 pixels smaller, okay? I'm sorry. If you're getting your nose from this person, you're a fucking moron, all right? That is one of the stupidest fucking things I've ever heard from any human being. The idea that we should deport people that have offended the sensibilities of the apartheid state, a fucking whole ass foreign nation, is ridiculous. No one, and I mean no one, who stands and defends this policy that the Trump administration is trying to implement and will most likely fail to implement can ever turn around and say that they're fucking pro free speech ever again. We already knew that nobody was really for free speech, but this is the most obvious instance of a violation of these principles. It's not when video game titties are smaller. It's when the federal government tries to implement criminal penalties for you exercising your fucking speech. That is a real violation. Doing it at the behest of Israel is also incredibly insane.
New York. His wife, a U.S. citizen who is 8 months pregnant, said in a statement that she wants him free, so he is, quote, holding my hand in the delivery room as we welcome our first child into this world. Hale.
Lilia, thank you.
More protests are expected today over the Trump administration's attempt to deport a pro-Palestinian activist. Mahmoud Khalid is accused of anti-Semitic activity for his role in helping lead demonstrations at Columbia University last year. ICE agents took him into custody over the weekend, and a federal judge blocked his deportation, at least for now, with a court hearing set for tomorrow. CBS News correspondent Lilia Luciano joins me here in Studio 55. Good to see you. So he has a green card. What is the Trump administration saying about trying to revoke it?
Well, first, the Trump administration has said that they revoked his green card. I talked to attorneys, including one of his attorneys, who say that DHS does not have the authority to do that, that there needs to be a process, that there needs to be a court hearing, and that's in part what's leading to this hearing tomorrow. His attorneys are also very concerned about the fact that he was moved from New York to Louisiana. I asked, what do you suspect?
Are you referring to revoking a green card as denaturalization? No, denaturalization is the process in which someone who either had a green card and became a naturalized citizen, or someone who was a natural-born U.S. citizen loses their citizenship status. A green card is technically not denaturalization. The revoking of a green card is technically not denaturalization because you are not a naturalized citizen. The point of a green card is that you will eventually become a naturalized citizen, and you will be able to vote and things of that nature. There's a couple additional protections that you get as a naturalized U.S. citizen. Okay? Are you scared, Hassan? No, I'm not fucking scared. I'm not. And stop asking me if I'm fucking scared, okay? This is not about me. You have to understand. Like, me withstanding anti-Semitic smears, like smears that I'm anti-Semitic or pro-terrorism or whatever, is not the same as someone with very little legal protections being deported for being made into like the first victim of this fucking fascist administration. There's a long way to go until they go to a fucking rich Twitch streamer. All right? It's not, I don't find it appropriate to talk about my own situation. No, and I'm not fucking scared. Everyone can suck my dick. If I was afraid, I wouldn't be talking about Israel all the goddamn time. If I was afraid, I wouldn't be talking shit about this administration. There's a lot more money to fucking make sitting around and talking about how apolitical and how centrist I am, and then glaze everything that the Trump administration is doing. Plenty of people do exactly that. Okay? You were born here. What is the chat saying? Yeah, there's also that too. Yeah. Even if there was more threats being made that against me that I don't voluntarily reveal to you, because that's just background noise, that still has not shaken my confidence and has not changed my commentary. Okay? And it's not from, this platform in general. I'm not talking about being potentially deplatformed.
Suspect that explains that, and they said that it happened immediately after he filed a petition for a release, given that he is a green card holder, given that he has not been charged or convicted with any crimes, and they feel like that might have been retaliatory or perhaps seeking a more friendly jurisdiction. So far, the Department of Homeland Security has talked about his activities, or called his activities, as aligned to Hamas, which, of course, is designed a terrorist organization. So what they're saying is his activities on campus. I have been trying to find, and there have been many publications of and videos of his activities, and I haven't, heard or seen. And
even if he did, like, that's what's also fucking insane. Even if he was like, Hamas is awesome and I love those guys, you think it's appropriate to fucking revoke the green card of a legal permanent resident? Like, what the fuck are we talking about, dude? What are we talking about? That's ridiculous. It's completely fucking ridiculous. I'm sorry. And I'll tell you the inverse of this that is not happening. You know who is unironically running around with a green card, harassing students, and actually violating the law openly in broad daylight? Shai fucking Davide. That motherfucker has a green card too. He's an Israeli citizen with a green card. Okay? And he also happened to have all of his wishes be addressed by the Department of Homeland Security. Shai David is a green card holder. He has actually openly and actively violated the law. He has harassed a bunch of women of color, students. Is he getting... Get the fuck out of here. You got a serial stalker and harasser who is routinely trying to dox people and routinely going after students as a person with power inside of this goddamn, oh my God, it's not that big of a deal, holy. Wait, what? It's not that big of a deal that the Trump administration... Wait, first of all, from the fact that you just said holy, I suspect that you are a dumbass fucking Bonercelli sex pestiny orbiter, okay? Oh, holy, it's not that big of a deal. I thought you guys hated Donald Trump. Now you like Donald Trump because he's going after fucking... Ion Bandy, you can respond to it. Now you like Donald Trump because he's going after fucking student activists that are pro-Palestine? Is that what's going on? What happened? What happened to your fucking political convictions? You think this administration is not eventually going to come after your fucking loser ass too? Refresh and ban. That was the most easy rage bait ever. Sick, dude. That's crazy. Man, your favorite content creator had to hire Prince Andrew and Danny Masterson's lawyers to go after credible accusers that have been victimized by him, and you're over here in here fucking going, I just did la rage bait, not realizing that like this shit will inevitably come back to you as well. Okay, if you think this is a good thing, you are out of your fucking mind. If you think that this is not going to inevitably impact you, you are the dumbest person on the fucking planet. La rage bait. I shit my pants and now everyone says I'm stinky. What a funny rage bait that I engaged in. I've made a fool of myself. Like, we're over here talking about a fascist administration blackbagging someone for the crime of protesting against a foreign nation. And you're over here being like, no, it's la rage bait time. La Reddit meme. Ugh. Anyway, Trump administration actively is going to be setting up fucking death camps, and these guys will still be trying to get an own on their sex pest content creators, like least favorite content creator. We did it. I'm on my way to the death camps right now, but at least I epically owned this person. Anyway, here's a funny thing that happened. Donald Trump literally doing a QVC ad for Tesla. It has the Tesla pricing on his fucking notes, dude. How crazy. There is zero tolerance for acts of vandalism against Tesla. Ro Khanna quote retweeted, end wokeness. Oh my God, the Democrats are, I can't imagine how much lower they can be than the position that they're in currently. There is zero tolerance for acts of vandalism against Tesla. Spraying the words Nazi cars or lighting fire to a dealership and charges is wrong, period. All Democrats should condemn it. Like, what you choose to focus your time and effort on matters, okay? Like, obviously, my expectation is not for a Democratic congressperson to be like, it's awesome to burn Teslas. Like, obviously, they're not going to say that. But there's no reason for you to take ownership over this and then, go out to be like, oh, it's really messed up. Like, yeah, we get it, dude. It's obviously fucking illegal. Like, why are you even spending any time talking about this? For what it's worth, some of those photos aren't even from the United States. That account isn't really a level actor. Yeah, this is what the Democrats should be doing. Ugly ass truck. I hate this. They have nothing. They have nothing to, they have no dog in this. They just have no dog in them. They have no interest in fighting back. There's nothing. They just constantly turn around and get owned by the stupid ass. They constantly turn around and get owned by the dumbest people on the fucking planet, the Republican Party, as they actively make things worse for everyone.
Asked people who protested with him, colleagues, any addresses to support Hamas or any kind of crime where they show that he's tied to Hamas. We're still waiting to hear from the government what exactly it is that they're alleging, because if it is just the act of protesting, what I've heard from multiple faculty members and students is that this was actually a person who wasn't leading the protest, but was actually a negotiator between the administration.
As in, he was the guy that the administration talked to. Obviously, the administration knows better than anybody else. If they had any reasonable grounds to, like, kick him out of the school, they would have fucking taken it. They specifically went after someone with a completely clear reputation, okay? That is deliberate. It is just as deliberate as, like, the ADL, for example, not spending any fucking time on the likes of Candace Owens or Dan Bilzerian, but coming after someone like myself. The reason why they do that is because that is the person that they're actually afraid of the most. A person that is not anti-Semitic, but anti-Zionist. That's it. And the reason why they're doing this is because, listen, we're taking out dudes from this country and revoking their citizenship even if they haven't done anything anti-Semitic, which still would have been ridiculous if he had done something anti-Semitic, and having them revoke their citizenship is psychotic, okay? Deportation is an inherently violent act. The crime has to match the violence that they are subjected to. The punishment has to fit the crime. You can't just be like, I don't like what you're saying, you're done. That's fucking Nazi shit.
And the student protesters. And so it seems like his role was actually in trying to keep the peace, not inflaming the discourse.
So on one hand, the Constitution of the United States under the First Amendment protects freedom of speech, even for people who protest the government's actions. But in the past, there have been instances of cases that have gone to the Supreme Court where federal prosecutors have argued that people who are, for example, communists or people who are anarchists and who are not American citizens, but who are here legally in the country, have been deported over those activities. But as you state,
yeah, that's also insane, by the way. The fuck do you mean? By the way, not for Nazis. He's not wrong. It is in the law. If you have taken a citizenship test or whatever, or if you've actually filed any fucking forms for immigration paperwork, yes, the American government still to this goddamn day, it's way before the Patriot Act, by the way, the American government still to this day will ask you if you have ever maintained any sympathies towards communism. Yeah. It's a McCarthyist remnant. It's a McCarthyist relic. Communist Control Act of 1954. For those of you who don't fucking know, this is why I always say freedom of speech only goes in one direction. Yeah. The Communist Control Act is an American law signed by President Dwight Eisenhower that outlaws the Communist Party of the United States and criminalizes membership in or support of the party of the or communist action organizations, defines evidence to be considered by a jury in determining participation in the activities, planning actions, objectives, and purposes of such organizations. If you want to understand why the American people are so fucking reactionary and so insanely fucking anti-communist, this is the reason. The government has been against communism in ways that they would never be against Nazis in perpetuity. Okay? Yeah. Emma Goldman was a Lithuanian-born anarchist revolutionary, political activist, and writer. She played a pivotal role in the development of anarchist political philosophy in North America and Europe in the first half of the 20th century. Here, where is it? Feminism, sexuality, state, capitalism, and labor. As the events preceding World War II began to unfold in Europe, Goldman reiterated her position to wars waged by governments. Much as I loathe Hitler, Mussolini, Stalin, Franco, she wrote, I would not support a war against some of the democracies in which last analysis, typical anarchist, by the way. Where the fuck? Sacco and Vanzetti is another example. Yeah. Goldman found it difficult to acclimate to the German leftist community in Berlin. Communists despised their outspokenness about Soviet repression. Typical anarchist. But where the fuck is it? Yeah, deportation hearing in October 27, 1919. Goldman refused to answer questions about her beliefs on the grounds that her American citizenship invalidated any attempt to deport her under the Anarchist Exclusion Act, which could be enforced only against non-citizens of the U.S. She presented a written statement instead. Today, so-called aliens are deported. Tomorrow, Native Americans will be banished. Already, some patrioteers are suggesting that Native American sons to whom democracy is a sacred ideal should be exiled. Goldman and Berkman were released from prison during the United States Red Scare of 1919 to 1920, when public anxiety about wartime pro-German activities had expanded and the prospect of an imminent radical revolution. Now, I don't agree with all of her perspectives. She is an anarchist after all. Having said that, I think like deportation is fucking insane. Understand that America has always had an anti-communist, anti-Bolshevik attitude. America has always been actively and openly anti-communist, anti-anarchist. But in the second Red Scare era, this came down. The Communist Control Act of 1954. Created during the period of the second Red Scare, the act was one of many bills drafted with the intention of protecting the American government from the threat allegedly posed by international communists. During this time, some argued that the pursuit of subversive aims, even by peaceful means, should have been outlawed. Thus, many opposed communism because of its explicitly declared and historically demonstrable goal to undermine liberal democracy. In the words of Ernest von Den Haag, there was no place in democracy for those who want to abolish it, even with a peaceful vote. The Communist Control Act was originally proposed as an amendment to the Internal Security Act of 1950, which is sought to combat the spread of communism and labor unions. Apart from its secondary focus, which it's still to this day illegal. It is still to this day illegal for a labor union leader to be out and about communist. Apart from its secondary focus, which concentrated on the illegality of communist front organizations, i.e. labor unions, the bill was drafted with the intention of tackling the root of pro-communist sentiment in the United States, the Communist Party. In its second section, the CCA of 1954 portrayed the Communist Party as an agency of a hostile foreign power. The party was described as an instrumentality of a conspiracy to overthrow the government and as a clear present and continuing danger to the security of the United States. Incredible stuff. The act made membership of the Communist Party a criminal act and stipulated that all party members would be sanctioned with up to $10,000 in fines or imprisonment for 5 years or both if they failed to register with the U.S. Attorney General as such. Additionally, according to the third section, the Communist Party would be deprived of the rights, privileges, and immunities of a legal body. Do U.S. citizens not learn about McCarthyism? I actually don't know if they do. I don't know. But if you're wondering why even leftists, even card-carrying leftists who consider themselves to be radicals, for example, oftentimes have incredibly reactionary takes, this is the reason why. Because American politics has always been insanely anti-communist. If you are an anti-capitalist of any sort, you are an enemy, okay? That is the way that it's always been presented, and political persecution has happened consistently against any kind of revolutionary figure in this nation. The first Red Scare, the one no one remembers, created J. Edgar Hoover when Attorney General Palmer rounded up and deported every immigrant they could tie to leftism. Like Nixon, Palmer used it to violently separate leftists and black Americans. 1919 was the nadir of U.S. relations. If you want to understand why America doesn't have any sort of like revolutionary sentiment or any sort of class consciousness, it is because of the consistent attacks against any sort of display of communism in this fucking country. Okay? First they make it illegal, then you slowly but surely stamp it out over many, many years. And at a certain point, you don't even have to actively use this law that exists because people do it. People do it themselves. On that note, let's get to the YouTubers who backed the genocide by Noah Samson, who made a wonderful video. There's a bunch of TOS in it. I am going to hold on. Let me see. What else? Does anyone have all the TOS notes from the video?